Greetings and welcome to the BlastCast. I'm Jarus and it's just me tonight. Well, we've had some exceptional news for all you ship lovers out there. Two major changes, or minor depending upon your point of view, but important ones to two ships that have been kind of a source of debate. Let's go into the first one, the Valkyrie. The Valkyrie, of course, was released during CitizenCon and it's one of the ships in my fleet. One of the large sources of contention was the fact that even though it could hold a vehicle, it could not carry cargo, which didn't make any logical sense whatsoever. Of course, the ship was never pitched with the idea of carrying cargo, but it only makes logical sense that if you can put a vehicle in a certain area, then you can also put some boxes. Lots of players discussed the issue on the forum boards, and eventually CIG came to the realization that they are not incorrect. So now there will be some cargo carrying capabilities for the Valkyrie. Now, it will not be able to carry cargo as efficiently as, say, a full-fledged cargo ship, but I think this is a great thing. Sometimes when you're transporting troops, you want to bring troops and supplies, and those supplies don't necessarily have to be a vehicle. See the C5 Galaxy for details, along with pretty much every other military aircraft that transports troops or vehicles or supplies. But one of the most exciting pieces of news was the complete rework of the Vanguard. The Vanguard was a beautiful ship when it came out on concept. I mean, gorgeous. And it looks like they're going to be going back and they're adding all the things that really added that character. We're talking about the glowing intakes, even the nicely detailed support struts that attach the hull to the engines. It looks so much better. I am half tempted to unmelt it from my list, and it's on my buyback for an LTI, because kind of in respect for them doing it. I mean, you got the treads coming back, you got the wheels, you've got the fine detail. When the original model came out, for the most part, it felt like it was like they just copied and pasted and cut parts off of the Retaliator and some other things. It really didn't feel like they put a lot of effort into it. I know there's effort put into it, but it felt very much like a Control-C, Control-V ship, you know? And I made a video about that, calling it pretty much that. A copy-paste ship. So seeing them going back and respect the original vision to me it just really warms my heart to see them go back and do that. I'm very happy for all you Vanguard owners, and who knows, in the near future, if I'm really happy with it, I may be joining you as one of them. Not like I need more ships, but you know, whatever. I'm in for a penny, in for a pound, right? Of course, as you all know by now, by the forums and Reddit, and if you don't, well, here it comes. Evocati 3.6 is now in testing. And of course, while I can't get into details of all that, I'm sure all you know who are interested how to get details on that without me pushing that. I'm not a big fan of leaks, but I can't stop them either. Now, there were some changes to the roadmap, and some things did get moved around just a little bit. The character customization system version 2 got moved to 3.7, along with FPS cover usage, and ship rentals got moved back a little bit. They're going to be coming out in 3.6, but kind of like 3.5.1, it'll be coming out in a mid-season patch. The Origin 890 jump will also be moving into a 3.6.x patch, and the Bandit Defender was moved to 3.7. None of those are particularly important in my opinion. Now, I understand the desire to have your 890 jump, and luckily it still is coming out in 3.6, just not on the launch, and I look forward to seeing that ship too. I think it's going to be an amazing ship. I look forward to being able to see it in Evocati when it happens, because I absolutely just love the larger ships. Now, stepping back for a second and discussing a little bit about the change to the Valkyrie, where they changed the cargo, or at least added cargo to it. There has been some uproar on the forums about the fact that they have given in to the people who have been howling and whining about having cargo in a ship that logically should carry cargo. This is called open development. The developers put out something, we give feedback. There was clearly enough people who own the ship, maybe not everyone, but there was enough of an outcry that CIG looked at the issue and went, you know what? There's no reason it can't put boxes in there. That's a coordination between your backers and the developers, and I don't really see in any way how this would unbalance the game. Now, I can't figure out if it's because people are truly upset about the change, or they're just upset that they fought against the change for so long that when it finally happened, now they're upset that the change is here. They were kind of white knighting that CIG knew best and this is the way it had to be. And then when CIG realized that the backers were correct, who wanted to have a little bit more functionality on the ship instead of turning it to a ship that you would use 1 out of 100 times, they're kind of in this weird position where, you know, CIG still can't be wrong. It must be the fault of the backers who wanted to have the ship changed. I can't abide white knighting. I mean, this is open development. There's things that had to be fixed and worked on in this game. Okay, it just is what it is. I mean, we still got the control issues to deal with. The whole first order, zero order doesn't blend issue. That's been prevalent for about 6 years, maybe a bit longer. Now, if they're starting to listen to the backers and start making minor changes like this, that gives me a little bit of hope that they'll start listening to the bigger points that we've been pushing for so long. Now, on the note of the control issues, when they were talking about on Around the Verse, they were talking about the VTOL mode, which looked really great because it's basically like a helicopter. It sounded like they were making some concessions to it, that they wanted to go ahead and adjust it so that it would work with the point-and-click targeting. They said for mining, but okay, first of all, that's a bad excuse. See, when I mine on a planet, I do something radical. I land my ship. I point my ship at the rock, I land, and then I mine the rock. It's not really, if you're looking at a real-world scenario, an efficient way to mine when you're kind of floating in the air. That's why you have landing gear. The Prospector is a mobile mining platform. You land, you mine, you deplete the rock, you take off, and you find another rock. Pretty simple. The bottom line is that while that was laid out as the reasoning behind it, I highly doubt that. When we get into the whole VTOL mode and we start dealing with air-to-ground combat, I think that the issues you're seeing with interactive mode are even going to become more prevalent. Because once again, you'll have one mode on one controller that isn't even balanced with the other modes on the same controller that are going to be basically decimating everything on the ground with pixel-perfect accuracy. Where everyone else is going to actually have to fly their ship and deal with the whole, oh, I'm pitching to the right, I'm pitching to the left, my ship is now slipping and sliding. With IM, you're just going to put your cursor over the target and it's just going to die. You saw this a while ago on the demonstration. When they showed the Idris for the first time, they were showing that air-to-ground battle, and they're driving the Ursa rover around and whatnot. They were missing on purpose. Okay? It was so obvious that they were just shooting all around that Ursa rover. When you saw it from the cockpit, like, oh, I'm going to shoot in front of them. Oh, I'm going to shoot behind them. You're going to have to miss on purpose with interactive mode. And I think it's going to become even, well, as obvious as that, really, frankly. We got to stop having the tail wag the dog. And the game needs to be based around the vehicles and not around shooting. So this is still that one piece of the puzzle that for some reason they absolutely just are adamant about having work. Now, I have never found any articles or anything at all that's ever shown a successful blending of first order and zero order controls, especially when it comes to aiming. I've challenged people on the forum to provide me with anything. So if you know something, got a video you can point me to, feel free to leave it down below, because I would love to see the solution to this problem, because I haven't found it yet. And I would love to have the ability to go ahead and have a discussion about that bridged gap if it exists. But overall, aside from that, great week for ship lovers. As I said, I'm tempted to melt my Vanguard. Very impressed, very happy. And the Valkyrie, I'm also excited for that, because sometimes I thought, what if you just want to get troops and cargo instead of a vehicle? Now it's more like an actual supply lines kind of ship, bringing in and bringing out people as you need it. Fantastic. Good overall news. Very happy with it this week. Well, I go back to work tonight. I just had a vacation. It's over now. I'm sad. Well, that's about everything for this week. As I said, leave your comments and suggestions down below. And I'm just kind of thinking about doing some more shows. I'm not exactly sure yet. I've been kind of in a little bit of a drought as far as information goes. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do. But there is something that kind of came out this week, a few days ago actually, Frontier Pilot Simulator just had a major update where they've added cockpit view to the game finally. And I kind of stated that that was what I was waiting for before I got back into it. So I think I want to dive back into that game. Actually, this time, instead of using the gamepad, I said I wanted to try it from the cockpit view with an actual HOTAS system. So I'm thinking of giving that a whirl and maybe making a video on it. Also, Starfighter Inc. renamed itself to In the Black. And while we haven't heard anything yet about the NDA dropping, when that comes out, as I said, I am going to be covering that to demonstrate if they've kept it consistent. It's been a long time since there's been a patch. If they've kept it consistent in quality from what it was before, how some of these things that they've done could apply to Star Citizen very successfully. All right, everyone. Well, that's about it for my rambling nonsense. And we will catch you on the next one.